About a decade ago, I found myself into a bad spot that I'd created on my own and did a lot of stupid things. And one particular stupid thing that caused a lot of problems to my friends and family. I was in a bad spot, like I said. I was in a depressive, angry state. And this associate of mine come up and said, "You know, you need to find something to do to occupy your mind before you go crazy." He said, "Write a book," which I thought was, ridiculous because, what do I know about writing books, right? But I started looking into the subject, and a number of how to write books all seem to agree on one topic. If you want to write, you need to write every day, and to write about things you know. Well, I've been an avid gamer my entire life, pen and paper, old school. I do like my video games, but I really do like the hands-on, you know, concept of where you sit down at a table with your friends and immerse yourself in an environment of your own creation. I wasn't in a place where I could do that easily. So what I started doing was I started creating this game system to play with a handful of associates and friends that, because of our circumstances, made it difficult to sit around a table for any great length of time, if at all. Uh, Out of this evolved a game system called Stellar Frontiers. What makes it unique and unusual in the pen and paper world is that it is a solo play. It means that the whole entire premise of the game system is designed to be played by you, the player, without any assistance from a GM or other players. Now, it can be played as part of a group, an interlocked group where each individual interacts with the other as they would an NPC house, and it's it works. It's been in a form of beta test for the past several 3 4 years. I've had about 8 9 people play it. Every one of them became enamored with it. They all agreed that it was good. It needed work, of course. We with their assistance and trial and error, I was able to improve on it. The original concept started out as a small packet, if you will, with most of the rules being in my head. Over time, I put the rules down on paper and eventually had access to a computer, which allowed me to create a paper version, which is what this is right here. This is my core book, 320 pages. This here is my equipment guide, about 160, 180 pages. And then here's the blueprint guide, which is like another 160 pages. So we have 3 books here that create a system. Now, if I ran across a publisher in an elevator and they gave me 10 seconds to explain the premise or the synopsis, what I would say is this is a Game of Thrones set in space. That's pretty simplistic. The base premise here is you start out as a person from another place who wants to create a home, a house of his own, her own. And so you begin with a colony ship with 10,000 people. You have enough supplies to last 6 cycles, which is roughly 10 days per cycle, so 60 days. You have 2 mining ships, 2 scout ships, and a few odds and ends. You have 6 cycles to find a suitable planet to settle. Otherwise, the system will force your colonists will revolt and they will self-destruct, and then within 4 or 5 cycles, they will cease to exist, or they will settle the nearest viable planet. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be conducive to what you would like it to do. Now, I've played this in worst case scenarios where I chose one of the worst planets to develop, and it's still doable, and it's interesting, and it's fun and enjoyable, and it consumes a lot of time. A little time. It's a matter of your perspective. The game system itself, though, has a lot of potential. One of the unique side effects of it, I guess, or sidebars is it's as complicated as you wish it to be. You can make it very simplistic. You can stick with the basic premise, which is where you settle a planet, a la Civilization or Command and Conquer or Sim Cities or any number of Sims, where you're the world builder and you represent this house, this neo-political noble system that the Imperium 6,000 years from now, the Earth turns into. Uh, Through this, each turn, each cycle, your planet would get an event roll. It gets a ship traffic roll, and the number of ship traffic rolls increase based on your population, your development. You start out with a package deal with about a half dozen, no, a dozen builds. Builds are factory complexes, housing complexes, agriculture, and so on and so forth. You get the basic materials you need to survive for a colony to survive and maybe thrive, but it's always lacking something. You do not have enough factories to produce all the materials, manufactured materials that are available, and no one planet allows you to mine 100% of everything you need in large enough quantities to make it viable. Hence the need to continue to explore, to develop other colonies, to set up mining outposts, so on and so forth. This, of course, is a hostile universe, and you've got plenty of bad guys. They're all NPCs. The system is set up so if you encounter a pirate, you can create this NPC pirate, and the rules are there to allow you to roll it up. The interactions from these bad guys are also based off of random rolls that are rolled by yourself. So, that sounds like, something I could easily cheat and manipulate. Well, sure, but you can do that with any any video game that has cheats, any board game that you want to, look at Monopoly. If you're in charge of the bank, you've got an unlimited supply if you're willing to pilfer. And if that's just the way it is. But it's one of those things where it's easy for me to sit here and tell you. It's another thing to get it so I make it so it makes sense. The reason I'm trying to do this Kickstarter is I'm at the point now where I'm trying to get it set up to sell a digital version of this via Kindle on or on eBay. Actually, I am selling a PDF version of this on eBay with an attempt to generate the funds I need to get the ISBN number and numbers that I need to make this a legitimate books for sale. So one of the things I'm offering to people who are willing to donate the $25 sponsorship package is a copy of the PDF version. It's meaning that this is keeping in mind that is still a beta. There are some notations and some things that are not 100% fixed or set up, but we talk about many charts, and this is quite elaborate. Giving an example, I can roll 48, and my encounter is a hunting lodge in a small village is located with 1d10 plus 5 prefabs, including 1d10 times 25 people, owned by a once famous big game hunter who dropped out of the news some time ago. A neo-platinum, she spends her days hunting and protecting this small group of dirt farmers from some petty, ferocious local beasts. She is a personality. Personalities are, well, that's what they are. They're a hedge above the NPC. Here's a planetary exploration chart, chart number 3. A random number is number 82. Interesting natural phenomenon discovered. Hot springs on an ice planet, for example, rivers of mud, etc. Be creative. A natural tourist trap waiting to be exploited. So this is examples of what I'm talking about. And we got, talk about encountering NPCs. You get an encounter that says I've discovered a fringe organization, or something comes up where I have to figure out what that is. I have created random charts for these things too. Fringe organization chart, when an event says that this group or that group is behind something but doesn't tell you who, this chart will aid you in determining who they are and if they are known to the house already. Another method would be to keep a microchart of groups based on type. So as you create more groups, you would keep a running list and you'd apply numbers to them. So if a new encounter comes along, you could say 50-50 that it's one of these existing groups, and you'd roll in your little chart and bang. Now you've got a continuity from one group to leading to event, this event, that event, all kind of linking together. But in here, it could be a known or unknown pirate. It could be a known or unknown shadow runner, gutter gang, organ harvesters, slavers. The list goes on. We have special cargo lists. Uh, you know, all kinds of things going on here. When I talked about the advantage of this game system, you make it as complicated as you want. If you just wanted to do something to pass the time, explore, develop things, the rules are there. If you get a random encounter where a ship merchant comes in and sells you some goods that you need and trades at your exchange, and you thought as the player, I'd like to know where this ship captain, had been before. Now, the rules allow for negotiations. This is where one of your house lords, ministers, or chief whatevers go and talk to this individual. And this is where the RPG stuff can come in, and you've created a character or an NPC for yourself, and you randomly generate an NPC that represents the ship captain. Each person has a certain amount of negotiation ability, and this is based off of the ranking of your house lord. Thus, a low-ranking squire has a much harder time negotiating with a veteran merchant captain. You're not likely to get much useful information out of them, but you don't want that just easily handed to you. Just like over time, when your house lord advances to, say, Duke, dealing with a low rank ship captain is going to be easy peasy, because your house lord's negotiating abilities are going to be way surpassing that of the lower rank NPC. But you're not going to get as much information out of them, because you shouldn't be at your rank level. You really should be dealing with larger groups and entities, not individual ship captains. You can negotiate with the ship captain, and through negotiations of basically a version of 21 questions, locate where their last port of call was, maybe what kind of colony it is, or what kind of settlement it is. Another route is to create a spy or an investigator, which is an NPC character class of sorts, and then have these people go in and infiltrate the ship, maybe slice into the ship captain's navigation logs, or seduce and trick the captain into giving this information. There's many ways to get the results that you're seeking, and the rules, the mechanics all pretty much allow for this in one form or another. So, as I said, this is a very intricately developed. I spent 9 years, and I have a dozen, 15 good-sized boxes sitting in my mother's garage, proof concept that shows the progression from the early version to this 3-book set that I have right now. I mean, they say if you have a dream, grab at it, work at it, go for it. This is my attempt at trying to push forward with this concept. I'm going to get this thing out there no matter what, but I'd like some help. I mean, that's what this is about. I'd like to get some people on board to enjoy the thing that I spent my lifetime working on. I would like input. That's another thing. I give you these systems. You go out and you play it. You've got questions. You've got suggestions. You got just things you don't like about it. This is how I can make improvements or make it better. Pretty much that's what I got here. I'd like to probably go into better detail on it and specifics. It's hard to wrap up all this material in, let's say, a 15-minute window. More. I'll look at this Kickstarter program thing. Allows me to put more stuff on it. I will. I do have a number of videos on YouTube under my name. Some of it deal with this, some of it deals with my experience as a GM, and some of it's got to do with my life experiences. I hope that doesn't color your opinion of me. This is America and place of second chances. This is my second chance to make it right for my family and for myself, and to give some kind of legacy that'll matter to people someday. And if nothing else, I accomplished something. I thank you for your time and your consideration. I hope you'll find this, worthy of your investment, and I welcome your opinion. Wish you a good day.